Hey everyone, welcome to another Haze Reverb video, and in this one we're going to talk about the reverb system for the game, which is basically the equivalent of the imprint systems that other games would have, and also it combines the skill up system together in one whole system. So this video will be mostly for the newer players, and if you're a veteran player, you probably won't get that much out of it. But I thought I'll make a video to explain how the system works for those who may not know, especially for those who are newer to the game. So first off, what are the reverbs? So reverbs are these book-looking things, and you would normally will encounter people referring to them as books, right? And I will also refer to them as books just because they're it's just easier to say. But there's four types of the generic ones. So these are the generic ones that you can use on any unit, right? For the sake like the equivalent rarity, right? So the pink ones are for transcendent units. You can click on it and you can see that it's for transcendent drivers. Gold is for SSR, purple is for SR, and then blue is for rare. Then you will also have the character specific ones, and obviously the color will be referring to the base rarity for that unit. And you'll obtain these once you have obtained the base copy of a unit, and then you pull any dupes beyond the base copy, right? So the first time you pull a unit, you'll just get that unit straight off. Every one after that, you'll get 20 of their character-specific books, and every 20 books equals one skill up. So in a nutshell, every dupe you get is equal to one skill up for that character, right? And then a character can be upgraded up to 9 times with their own dupes, or with the generic ones, which you can convert into their character-specific ones. And then using those 9 copies, you'll max rank the unit. There is one more bonus rank, which I'll show you a little bit later, right? But you will need, basically in total, to fully max out a unit, you would need 10 copies of that unit, right? So 1 base copy, 9 dupes. Now that sounds like a lot, and but it is like a way to alleviate this. Like the system is actually quite good, and you'll see once I explain some of the later mechanics where it's actually not it's not as bad as it sounds, right? 10 copies you would think in most gaches is quite a lot of units, but you can actually get these a lot easier than just like pulling straight out multiple dupes of a unit. And in actual fact, my usual recommendation is to never pull dupes of a unit unless it's a transcendent unit, because the transcendent units are a bit harder to get the generic books for. But for everything that's SSR and below, you don't really need to pull more than 1 copy of a unit. Alright, so these books, the first 9 copies, are only usable on the character itself. There's basically no reason to save them up. I only have them in the inventory just because I'm using it for the video. But if you have books that can upgrade a character, you should just use them, especially to clear out the notifications on the driver section. So I'll just show you quickly how to use them. So if you click on the driver button, and then the units that have a red dot will indicate that there's something that can be upgraded. Generally speaking, it's going to be your skill ups, but it could also be like your awakening as well. But most of the time, it's skill ups. So you just click on that, and it will also direct you to how to, where you would upgrade them, right? So you click on skill, then go to skill upgrade. And now you can see my Suzuki is not max skilled, and she has 20 books from pulling a dupe. I'm just keeping it here just for the video, but typically speaking, like there's no reason to save these up, just use them and skill up the character. If you really need to down rank your character for whatever reason, you can always do that by clicking this down button here, and then you can down rank it if you want to. Generally speaking, you probably won't need to do that at all, unless it's like a crusade raid maybe, where you, like, let's say you're just doing too much damage. You want to bump it down a little bit, or maybe like lower your supports, their buffs, like to just bring it down and get a certain breakpoint, right? Then you could do that if you want to, but most of the time you probably won't bother. But I thought I'd just mention that as like a thing that you can do, because it's basically the only thing that you can actually downgrade in the game, right? You can't downgrade the levels or anything like that. So you're basically stuck with, like, once you've leveled up a unit, they're stuck with that. But the skill ups, you can actually downgrade it. This is basically the only thing you can do for that. Now, to use your generic books, I'm going to click on. I'm going to use Lilith as an example here because she's I don't have any books for her. So if you go into here, there's no actual button showing you that you can use your generic books anywhere, right? So it's a little bit like unintuitive, but just to show you how to use it, what you have to do is click confirm while you have no books available, and then it's going to ask you whether you want to convert your generic books into Lilith's specific books, right? You can also click maximum. If I had more, then it would raise it all the way up to 180 books to like max rank it if I wanted to do that. Otherwise, you can just scale it to however many you want. Just keep note you do need 20 specifically, and a little bit of a weird thing is you can convert like exact numbers, which is kind of unnecessary, but you can also just do it 20 at a time. Like you just click, convert, and then you can then you'll click upgrade confirm, and then go back in and do it again if you just don't want to like scroll, because the scroll is actually kind of annoying, I think, to get it exact. And there's no way to even type the amount that you want to exchange for. So you just do whatever is more comfortable for you. So that's how you would use the generic books. Now, how do you obtain these books, right? Or like some of these are generic books, right? So the main way to get the generic books will be to go into your commander's office, and basically you're going to convert all of your spare reverbs into the generic ones, right? So when you go into here, synthesize, click here as well, and then skill materials, quick synthesis here, and then any extra reverbs that you have. So basically, it's like any additional books that you get beyond the 9th copy or the 9th dupe, I should say. All those will be spare books, right? Because you've already maxed out your character. There's no other way to use them. And you can just directly convert them into the generic versions. But it does cost you some shield crystals, but it's a small price to pay, right? Because then every dupe you get for a character that's already max leveled is basically equal to a dupe for any other character you want. Just that you have to pay some shield credits to convert it, like back and forth. And I think it's a really good system in that regard, because you don't have to worry about, I've maxed out all my characters, like I'm gonna waste my pulls on getting additional units. That's not the case for this game. All those extra dupes are actually very useful, right? So you convert it into the generic ones, and then you can further upgrade them by going into the training materials here. And there's a conversion for both the violet and the glittering reverbs, right? So you click on here. You can now convert your blue ones up to purple at a 10:1 ratio. Again, it does cost you some shield credits to do that, but it is worthwhile, because you're going to max out your rare units very easily, and you're going to have tons of these, right? So as long as you have enough shield credits, like don't bankrupt yourself doing this, but you can convert them up to purple, and then you can go back here, and then you can convert the purples into the gold ones. And this is why it's not too bad. With requiring 9 dupes, because you can convert all your low B ones up into the higher rank one, and that way it doesn't sound so bad now that you can use these, or you can convert up and use these to let's skill up your characters. Additionally, if you do have a maxed out SSR unit, and you do happen to pull additional copies of it, while pulling for other units, because this game doesn't have like a 100% hit rate for on-banner units. You have a chance to pull a non-banner unit, unfortunately, but then you don't have to worry too much, because if you do pull a unit that you've already maxed out, you can just convert it directly into the other units. So you can convert it into the generic ones and just use it on the unit that you're trying to skill up. So it's a very convenient system, in my opinion. It's pretty good. Probably one of the best ones out there. Alright, now additionally, you can also get some generic books from other areas of the game. The first one being just general events. We'll typically have them. Primarily the side stories. Alright. Oh, sorry, there's a bit of a sound here, but that's from the opening the side story. But most side stories will have a shop, and like this one is here, where you can buy some books, right? Usually they'll have enough for one like skill up, and then like a bunch of lower level ones, right? Which you'll probably just convert them up, right? So it's like a little bit more than 1 skill up per event, and those events usually will last between 2 to 3 weeks, depending on like how big the story is. Some of the collabs have been 4 weeks in the past, but then they'll have like a slightly more reverbs from memory. I think it could be like between 20 to 25. But yeah, that is how you can get some more books there, and then there's also some in the shop here. So if you go to your shop and then go to Redemption and Elite Shop, this is for your Elite Drill or PvP, right? The normal arena basically equivalent. And you can spend currency here to buy some books, and these everything here except for these skins will reset monthly, and also these tickets will reset weekly, right? So everything else is monthly. This one's unlimited, it just remains here all the time. And yeah, you can buy a bunch of the reverbs every month basically, and you should do that, right? It's definitely worth it. And additionally, just like a small little tip here, just like on a bit of a tangent, you should always buy the weekly tickets and just spend those on your arena attacks. On average, you're going to gain more currency than you spend, right? So it's always worth it to do that. Plus, you'll get a bunch of shield credits, so there's just basically no reason to buy these every week and use them. Even if you're low rank, it doesn't matter. On average, you'll probably win lose, and then you'll get more currency than you spend here. And as you get stronger, you'll have a higher win rate, and then you'll be able to get even more value out of these tickets, right? And then with these tickets, you can then use it to buy out the reverbs and everything else in the shop. I would hold off buying the skins until last, because these ones will always be here, right? They don't rotate out either. So yeah, that's like a permanent thing that you can just buy at like whenever you feel you're comfortable with your resources, right? So that is the reverbs there. One more area you can get some reverbs is in the battle pass. The battle pass unfortunately doesn't have any SSR ones, so there's no golden books. In the paid section, you'll get some of the purple ones, but mainly from here you're gonna get the transcendent tickets, or transcendent reverbs, I should say. If I can find them, they're in the middle somewhere. Right, so here. So in the free battle pass, you only get 3 of these books, unfortunately, which is a very small amount considering you need 20 for a skill up. So it will take you quite a few months to get 1 skill up, right, for a transcendent unit. If you buy the battle pass, you'll get a bit more. So in total, you'll get 7 from the paid version, and then basically in total, it's half a skill up, right, per month. The battle pass does reset on like a monthly basis, I think, on average. I don't know, maybe it's like 5 weeks or something, but it's roughly about a month. So you can get 10 transcendent tickets out of this, transcendent reverbs out of this if you want to. But if you're free to play, you're just completely free to play, you don't want to spend any money, you can get 3 here very slowly over time. Now, additionally with the reverbs, the transcendent ones are the only ones that are going to be like super hard to get, right? Because as I said, you can convert all the gold one up into the gold ones, but there's only like one way to directly convert the gold ones to purple ones. So actually I have to go back into the shop here and redemption, and then you go to requisition shop. You can convert the gold books into transcendent ones at a discount, which is good, because otherwise 10-to-1 ratio would be very poor conversion rate, and I wouldn't do that, right? But with these conversions, it's more reasonable, right? But I think you should only do this if you're very comfortable with the amount of gold reverbs you have, and this will probably be mostly the paid players that would be able to afford to do it. If you're free to play, I would probably avoid doing this, right? You could maybe consider just the 80% one, just because it's like the highest conversion rate. But yeah, in total, there's 10 potential reverbs to get here, which is again another half a skill. Therefore, if you're willing to pay money and also convert some of the gold ones, you could technically get about 1 skill up per month from the battle pass and here. For paid players, it's definitely worth, because it's going to save you a lot of crystals in the long run. Now, the way to get the unfortunately the transcendent banner's gone here. Normally there'll be a transcendent banner here, and then, or if there is one up, and that's how you'd pull for the transcendent units. To get dupes for the transcendent units, so if I just go back to the driver section here and show you the transcendent units, right? So these ones are basically the ultra rare units of the game, right? And the only way to upgrade them is either getting those reverbs through the battle pass and the redemption shop, or you pull dupes for these, right? This is the only type of unit that I would suggest pulling for dupes, just because that's like basically the only realistic way to upgrade them, aside from slowly accumulating those transcendent reverbs. And this is where you would spend your crystals, right? So if you're trying to save up crystals to invest into transcendent units, then you would save up these crystals here, right, for that. And just try to only use your elite tickets for your pulls on SSR units. But if you have to use some of these for SSR units, then do so. But yeah, this will be the primary way to get the transcendent units, because transcendent tickets are mostly paid currency. I don't think you get many transcendent tickets elsewhere. I think as a new player, you might get the new player event where you get some tickets over 100 days. But I don't know if that's still a thing or not, because I haven't made a new account in a very long time. So yeah, that is basically the system in a nutshell. Actually, one more thing I should talk about is to get the final skill up, right? So if you look here at the skills, it will say +1 here, right? And to get that, you have to collect this whole set. Now to get these, there's a couple of ways depending on what type of unit it is. The first, if it's a non-limited unit, you have banners here, or like a standard banner here for the resonant gear. This banner has all non-limited unit resonance gear. Of course, it's going to be random what you get, but you can pull them eventually from here. Additionally, you could just pull them while pulling for other units resonance gear, and any unit that's currently on banner will also have that resonant gear on banner as well. So as an example, we have Lifer here, right? So Lifer is currently a banner unit, and then she also has her resonant gear here as well, right? So you can pull these with this currency, and there's no other use for this currency, so just use this first. And if you're really desperate, you could use shield credits if you want to, but I don't recommend that unless you're swimming in shield credits, right? And that's mostly for the late game players. So you want to collect all 3 of these, and that will unlock the skill up. Now, there's also a couple other ways to get these items. The first one for non-limited units is in your backpack. You'll accumulate some of these resonant gearboxes from Moon Abyss. You can use these to get the non-limited unit ones that you're missing, and conveniently it will also indicate that you've owned them already. So anything that you don't own will be up at the top. And then my suggestion would be pull on the character's banner until you get 2 out of 3 of these resonance gear, and then use your resonance box to finish the last one. Because getting while you're still 0 out of 3 and 1 out of 3, you have a much higher chance of hitting a resonance gear that you don't own, right? But by the time you get to 2 out of 3, that means you have to get one specific gear, and that can be a bit tougher to obtain. So if you're low on those the pull resources, then you can use these instead. Right. Now, additionally, for limited units, if you go to your commander's office and a processing plant, there will also be a section here for resonance here. And these are for all the limited units in the past. So the good thing about this game as well is that if you missed out on these, right, and you do have the unit, you can go back and just purchase them basically, or craft them. And to craft them, you'll use this material here, which is what you'll get from obtaining dupes of resonance gear, right? And you'll accumulate this as you pull for other gear, and then you can use them here to buy the ones that you're missing. Some of these you might have to like click into them to see who it belongs to, but it will show you there. And there's quite a lot out now, so you might have to like scroll through and find the ones. Generally speaking, the latest ones are at the bottom, right? And then the oldest ones are at the top, right? So that's another way you can sort of somewhat guess approximately where they are if you know when they were released. But especially for the newer units, you'll probably know that they're right at the bottom. So this will apply for limited units for both SR and SSR. So that is the ways that you'll get the Resonance Gear to get the final upgrade for your unit to get them to rank 10. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything you need to know about the imprint and skill up systems for this game. So if there's anything I missed, feel free to ask in the comments and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, good luck with the game, and I hope that this video has been helpful for the newer players, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.